Welcome back, rankers. So, Sensis seems to have raised the white flag. Who is Sensis? Well, Sensis is the company that basically owns and runs the yellow pages online and offline, and also the white pages online and offline. Now, I used to be a big user of the white pages in the pre-Google days. I'm talking when we had Alta Vista and those sorts of things. And I used to use white pages online quite a bit. But then they changed it, and basically they wrecked it. They stuffed it up. It became useless as far as I was concerned from a usability perspective. Yellow pages I kind of used a little bit in the early days when it launched, but certainly in 1995, 96, I steered clear of it because the whole interface was in VRML, and you had to basically negotiate a 3D world to actually find any data. And I think they got swayed by the movie back then, which was the Demi Moore, Michael Douglas film, where they had that 3D directory. And of course, they quickly found out 3D directories, useless. People want lists. But what's happened this week is that Sensis has extended its partnership with Google, and they're going to become an authorized reseller of Google AdWords. Now, to me, that's raising the white flag. Why do I need yellow pages online if you're offering me Google AdWords? I'd be very interested to know, if people are advertising on yellow pages, what sort of click-through rates that are you getting, and what is it costing you per click? Certainly the clients of ours that have ditched yellow pages online and have started doing SEO or AdWords, when you look at their click-through rate and also the cost per click, it's quite high in comparison. Like, I'm talking $50 per click in some cases. You know, when you base it, I'm paying X amount per month to yellow pages, and this is how many clicks it's getting through to my website. What is that cost per click? And if it's $50 and you're selling a $100 widget, well, it's too expensive, seriously. So I don't understand why people would still be advertising in yellow pages, certainly in the paper directory, unless they know that their audience is there. But the yellow pages online too, I'd be very interested to hear from people if they find that useful. Certainly for my part, these days, if I want to find a phone number of a company, I'll just Google the company and put the phone under it. And usually, you will find a phone number. And certainly, you know, that's where it's all heading on, say, devices like the iPhone and well, not so much the iPad because it hasn't got a phone in it, but certainly on the iPhone, the phone numbers are hyperlinked so that when you click on the phone number, it automatically activates the phone and calls the company. And, you know, that's so much more powerful than trying to go to yellow pages and sift through all the promoted ads or the companies that pay the most to be up the top. How valuable is that? The other thing that Sensis has been doing, though, is that they've been providing data feeds to Google, along with other companies, I believe, for things like Google Maps, so that they will have, and Google Places. So, you know, Google has to get that data of where, you know, these businesses are on the map from somewhere. If they don't have a website or if they don't have a listing anywhere else, they've got to get that data from somewhere. In yellow pages and those sorts of directories is where Google gets its data, where it does its deals. And then it's now meshing that, as you see, with Google Places, which incidentally still isn't working very well. And I don't know if anybody else out there has seen Google Places work on Google Mobile, but certainly on the iPhone and on the iPad, Google Places is not working on Google Mobile, which I think is pretty silly, since Google Places, you would think the key demographic is for people on mobile devices rather than people sitting at their desk. Anyway, if you've seen it working on Google Places, please let us know. If Google Places working on mobile, please let us know. So Sensis is saying that, you know, they're now doing Google AdWords. I don't know how many certified AdWords employees they will have to start doing this, but it's certainly, I think, a move they should have made a long time ago, rather than spending millions and millions and millions on their own search engine, as they did back in, I think it was about 2005, 2006. They spent millions on a thing called sensis.com.au, and we ranked pretty well across the board for all our clients and most of our phrases in that search engine. But we very rarely saw a bot come out to any of the sites, and we tracked, we submitted the sites to the search engine, and that's how they got indexed. But we very rarely saw any bots come out to actually index new content. And what we found is that even though we ranked really, really well in that search engine, we didn't get any traffic from it, which basically said no one uses it because we're getting traffic from the other search engines for the same phrases. So you always need to test and measure. That's why I say if you are using Yellow Pages, make sure you've got Google Analytics set up and make sure you're tracking how much traffic you get. Compare it to the data that they send you, because I know they do send comprehensive reports telling you how many times your ad's been viewed, as well as how many clicks are going straight through to your website. Then work out what the cost is for those clicks. So if you're paying, say, $500, $1,000 a month or whatever it is, how many clicks are you getting and what are those clicks costing? If you're only selling a $50 widget and the clicks are costing $25, then you might want to reconsider your advertising spend. And as Sensis is now doing Google AdWords, well, if you've got a good account manager there, maybe you want to stick with them. But certainly, I'm not sure what companies are. Because let's face it, the advertising in Yellow Pages has always been, let's just say, the cost has been at a premium. I know you will pay, well, you certainly used to pay thousands and thousands a year for just a very tiny ad in a very, very big book. So that's what Sensis is doing now. So, which is a shame because, quite frankly, I'd love there to be another big competitor to Google, but unfortunately there isn't. And when I tweeted this out yesterday, Chaco said there was 73 volumes of Yellow Pages and Yellow Pages Online, which I did not know. I think it's still making cash because the majority of SMEs are baby boomers. Well, that's interesting because, as we know, just about every household in Australia is now connected to the internet. Even my mum's connected. But she doesn't know she's using her neighbour's hacked bandwidth, but that's all right. Just don't tell her. But it's prolific now. Every household, the numbers suggest, is connected to the internet, and something like 8 to 10 million Australians are on Facebook now. So if you're using Yellow Pages, or you know someone that's using Yellow Pages, and I don't mean just to get your monitor at the right height or prop open a door, or hit someone with a sledgehammer and not leave any bruises. What I'm talking about is actually using it for advertising. If you are using it, or if you know someone's using it, what sort of results are you getting? I'd love to know. And that is it for today's show. Thanks very much, and we'll see you next week.